Hey everybody, Tanya Gustafson here, your nutritionist and fitness coach with Fit Nutrition. Thank you for joining me here on another episode of Fit Nutrition Podcast. And today we're going to talk about showing up for yourself. So let me know where you are right now watching from. If you're joining in live or on the replay, thank you so much. If this is going to benefit somebody that you know and they're in the group, tag them. If they're not in the group, we need to set them up with a consult call with me so we can get them started on their 8 weeks to optimal health journey. All right. So today we're going to get started with showing up for yourself. So, you know, as a woman, there's mostly women in this group. I know there's some guys out there too, but this tends to be something that we will do for everyone else, like everyone else and their dog, right? You'll show up for the neighbors, you'll show up for your kids, your parents, do the stuff at the school for the kids or the sports or the volunteer and all that kind of stuff. And you'll put yourself dead last, right? Am I the only one talking to myself here? I'm sure not, right? So if you're a mom or a parent, all parents do that. Caregivers, anyone where you're, intently looking after somebody, you tend to not want to, but you tend to just naturally put yourself last. And I call it kind of like the mom syndrome because mostly it's if you are a mom or your kids are grown or whatever, then even you can still relate, right? Because this happens. We put everyone else last and we come next. But so what we want to do though, and that sometimes people think, well, I just don't have enough time in the day to do X, Y, Z and get all this done and do the stuff for my kids and do the stuff for me and make sure I have blah, 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 blah. And then it becomes, we're at the end of the day and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I wanted to get X, Y, and Z done and all I got done was X. And so then it's like, we move it to the next day. And then we sometimes, get behind on all of that. So I wanted to just address that. So I've got a few notes down here. So if you see me looking down, I got another screen going on. So I'm just taking a look down here. So as we, do all that, like I said, you get the X, Y, Z and you only get the X done. You get to the end of the day and you might have time for yourself, but that's often, the time and space that gets filled up with the next urgent thing. Have you ever been there where you get to the end of the night, you're thinking, okay, great. Now I can just sit down and relax for a minute, have a cup of tea. And then you're like, I need to still empty the dishwasher and put stuff together for lunches tomorrow. And shoot, I left that laundry in the washing machine. And so I need to go and flip that, put it in the dryer so it doesn't sit there all night. And then by the time you've done all that, you're like, well, now I don't really want to sit down for a cup of tea and read my book. I just want to go to bed or something like that, right? And so that time that you thought you had now gets eaten up by the other things that just pop up that ended up to be urgent, stuff that you thought, oh my gosh, I have to do right now. And that, if I said was making lunch urgent, was emptying the dishwasher urgent, was flipping the laundry urgent, in each and every one of those incidences in and of themselves, you would say, no, that's not urgent. What are you talking about? A car accident is urgent. That's not urgent. But when we're in that moment and we're thinking, well, I need to do it now because I have all these other things to do tomorrow, it becomes urgent, right? And the urgent things will often bully and regulate the important things. So just remember that. Great quote I heard from a speaker years ago doing a workshop. David Welk, great speaker, great topic, great workshop on, just those urgent things that come up. And so we have to learn how to build some margins into our day and to not take on as many things as we think we can do, but actually take on the things that we can do and structure that in a little bit better way so that we can not feel like we're always hitting the ground running first thing in the morning and then under the gun all day and then, wrung out like a towel at the end. Because if we're doing that over and over and over and over and over and over again as a wash, rinse, repeat, and that's our daily life, then you're just living in this place of stress, of elevated stress, which then is elevated cortisol, which is elevated insulin, which becomes insulin resistance, which becomes, extended long-term chronic inflammation, which is the root cause of all disease, which, speeds up aging, which then leads you into all of the other diseases. Because as we think about diseases as each individual one in and of themselves, they're really all, they're all one. when it comes to aging, inflammation, all that kind of stuff. But that's another topic for another podcast. But so just bear with me here. So when we're thinking about all of those things, when we're under the gun, when we're hitting the ground running first thing in the morning, under the gun for the whole day, and then feeling wrung out like a towel at the end, that is where you're putting your health at risk. And not only are you putting your health at risk, you're just not as productive as you could be. You get to the end of the day and you think, like I said, you wanted to do X, Y, Z, but you only got X done. And so you don't feel productive, and then you start beating yourself up over that and thinking, well, why can't I do this? It seems like other people can do this and other people can get things done. And why do I always feel, run down and drug out like a horse, rode hard and put away wet? Why do I always feel like that? So coming back to that, it's important to prioritize, right? We all know, we've all heard that. We got to prioritize, and when you make things a priority, you're going to get them done, right? And I heard this quote, which is it's very interesting. When we say we don't have time, try switching "I don't have time" for "that's not a priority," because that will put things really into perspective for you. So, picking up my kids at school or getting the groceries or picking something up for my husband at work or whatever, I don't have time. No, if I say that's not a priority, I wouldn't ever say that to any of them, right? To do any of that, I would do that. Those are priorities for me. And everyone's going to have their own hierarchy of priorities and where they belong. And that's great. That's what you need to establish are these things that I'm doing in my day or that I would like to get done in my day or my week? And I would invite you to look at it from a week perspective and then break it down in the daily perspective as well too. What would I like to get done or need to get done? Both. You got to think of both of those things. What would I want to get done? What do I need to get done in the week? And then break that up in the days. Okay, so you have 7 days in the week. Where are all of those items going to fall? Because sometimes if we just go at it like, I know I got to get this done. I got to get this done by the end of the week. Sometimes we don't even start that on Monday and we wait until Thursday. And by now, it's almost the end of the week. And you've been thinking about it. It's been in the back of your mind, dwelling and pushing on you and not letting you focus on other things and keep coming back to haunt you because you didn't really, strategize that and get the right time for it. And then you get to the end of the week and now you're super under the gun and it's just a whole big stressful mess. And that's kind of like the definition of procrastination, right? I grew up, one of my best friends is a self-proclaimed procrastinator. She totally admits it. She would not mind me even saying this. If you looked up in the dictionary, procrastination, you would see her picture. We just all know it, So anyway, we don't want to be like that because that really elevates the stress and doesn't really help us get anything done and doesn't help us feel accomplished. And when we don't feel accomplished or successful, we don't feel like we have a purpose. We feel like we're just running from one thing to the other, kind of like a pinball machine going all over the place. Remember those old pinball machines? The ball would go all over. That's kind of where you end up feeling like you're running instead of going from A to B, getting that done, B to C, getting that done, and getting all of those things, getting your ducks in a row, right? And it's not like you have to be super strict or, ironclad and nothing can, there's no room for changing things or adjusting things because that's, you have to be flexible in your life. Seriously, right? I mean, anybody knows that if you have a family or even a spouse or even a significant other of some description or you have a job or a business or what, you just have to be flexible in life. Otherwise, things aren't going to work well. So prioritize and thinking about things that you need to get done and that you want to get done. So those wants can also be for yourself for the week. And then how are we going to break those up each and every day? And when you do that, so dedicating some time and then always build that little margin room in there for some of the in and around some of those things. So not stacking everything right on top of each other with to the minute schedule where it's like, I'm going from this appointment to this appointment to this appointment with no room in there, not at all. Because sometimes there are variables that you can't change or you can't do something about. And when that happens, that then backs up everything else. And that's a domino effect. And then your whole day comes crashing down and then there's a whole bunch of pieces that need to be picked up through the week. Whereas if you build that in, now you have those expectations. And then if you have a spot in the middle of the day where everything went really well and you didn't need that margin, you can use that for some quiet time for yourself, or you can use it to get something done later in the week and swap that time out, So then you really have more control and yet more flexibility. So you have both, which is really, really cool. So, all right. So laying out what you need to accomplish, what you want to accomplish for them, meaning your family, your work, your job, your friends, whatever it is, and then also for yourself, because you got to put yourself in there. And when you're doing that, that doesn't mean, so I would say at the very least, you're going to start with some morning time. Okay, morning time is very important, and I'm going to go into that. That's a whole other podcast. I'm going to do one on that too. But for right now, just thinking about morning time as staying off your phone first thing in the morning. For at least that first half an hour. Don't wake up and the first thing you do in your bed is pick up your phone. That's the worst thing you can do. The busy starts right away. Get up, do your morning bathroom routine and brush your teeth and whatever, and get your breakfast or your shake or whatever it is that you do. Get yourself settled. I do my devotions, my prayers in the morning, and I have my shake, and then I gather all my stuff together and I get off to the gym, and I purposefully have my phone notifications set so that I won't even hear any notifications before 6:30 a.m. and I'm up at 5. Okay, so that allows me to get ready, get going, do all my things. If I need to or want to check something, because if my kids are traveling, I always do check on the messages for that. But if but normally, then I don't get those messages coming in. So then my morning time is quiet, and I can sit there and get those things done, chat with my husband before he leaves for work, go to the gym, and then the messages turn on when I'm sometime at the gym at some point. And then it doesn't matter because I'm already up and moving and it's okay. Then when I, hit the treadmill, I can, go ahead and answer my messages because I'm not doing anything else anyway. I'm just walking, right? So I can go then and do all of that. So that's something that's one of my strategies. And so what you do in the morning, even if you don't have, you're like, oh my gosh, Tanya, an hour and a half? I don't have that much time. Okay. I challenge you to carve out 10 minutes for yourself in the morning. If you don't have 10 minutes to give to yourself every day, we need to have a serious conversation, because that really you need to do that. So I'm just saying, carve out some time in the morning, sitting there, even if it's just quietly looking out the window, reflecting. Meditation is good. Prayer is good. Reading is good. Reading something that's going to inspire you or help you learn something or help you understand something, something you're interested in, a topic you're interested in. All of those kinds of things are going to start your day off on the right foot, and you're just going to feel so much better. Trust me on that. Okay, so starting your day off like that, so give yourself that 10 minutes. And then as you're going through that day, you're going to, as we talked about the week, setting out your week, so get something. You can pick up a planner at your, stationery store or whatever. I've just printed off a couple pages that I like. So get one where you can put what you want to get done in a week, and then you can break it up into the days, right? Like this, and what you want on there, highlighting the things that are important. I have a meeting there that I don't want to miss, things like that, right? And so then I put everything that I want to do, and then the appointments, I go and put those in my reminders on my phone calendar so that I have it all there and it's laid out. And then the night before, I can take a look, remind myself what's coming for the day, or first thing in the morning before I, start my work day, take a look, remind myself what's coming for the day, make any adjustments if I need to add something or give something more time or less time, and then I'm off and running. And I have my plan set out there too, and I would also suggest to add in what you're going to do for dinner. Write your dinners down there, write them in the bottom there so that you can make sure, I know what I'm cooking for dinner this week or for today and tomorrow. And I know that if I cook these two things on the third day, I'm going to have leftovers. I don't have to make dinner. We're just going to heat up. So things like that now make your life easier and you really know where you're going. Now, the other thing I've got going on with this is that showing up for yourself, getting organized so that you can function well in a day. Also, it doesn't mean that you're going to give yourself everything that you want, right? And push everything else to the side. None of that. And I don't think that anyone here would be thinking about that. But it does mean at some point that we're going to have to decide to defer a few things. Okay? So deciding to defer. So all of us here are on our health journey, right? Whether you have started your 8 weeks program, whether you're, doing your Fit in 4, whether you're into the 8 weeks to optimal health, and whether you're living and thriving your life, wherever you are at in your health journey, at some point, we need to defer things that we have normally been putting into our body because they're not serving us. All right. So we're going to decide. Making a decision is a powerful thing. Deciding to defer some of those food items, those inflammatory items that don't serve us. So we all know that when we first get started with our Fit in 4, we're going to, decide to defer from gluten, soy, dairy, salt, coffee, alcohol, sugars, fake sugars, those kinds of things, because they're inflammatory. They cause our body to retain bloat and waste and toxins. And it's like, if you take your car in for an oil change, the mechanic never says, hey, should I leave that dirty filter in for you? Do you really want me to change that? I mean, he doesn't ever do that, right? So that's what we need to do for ourselves occasionally. You know what? Because our bodies collect things. We put things in that sometimes don't serve our bodies, sometimes don't serve our health. And so every once in a while, we need to decide to defer from those kinds of things so that we can detox and pull all of those out and allow our body to restart from a place of health. Okay, and so I just wanted to add that in here because if you're in that place right now where you've pulled out those inflammatory foods and now maybe a birthday party has come up. Maybe someone's invited you for dinner. Maybe, your husband wants to meet friends at a restaurant or something. And you're thinking, oh man, how do I do this? I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to do it. And then you go there and someone's trying to sabotage you, or you feel like they are. They may not directly be doing that, but sometimes we're super sensitive in those times. And we're feeling like, well, they want me to join in and have that cheesecake or have that glass of wine or have that piece of bread that that they bring to the table in some of the restaurants, and you had made that decision before you went that no, I'm going to do what I need to serve my body because right now I am in that place where I am deciding to defer from these things and only fuel my body with the things that are not inflammatory so that I can get the results that I am looking for, because I need to do that right now. And that's not about, oh, I'm not on this diet, I'm not doing any crazy things. It's about I'm just choosing to do what serves my body at this point in time. And I made a promise to myself, so I'm keeping that, right? And that is serving yourself, because when you have that mindset and you can follow through with those promises and those decisions that you make for yourself, you've shown up for yourself. You said yes to yourself. You were excited to get started. You said yes to yourself. And then as you're committing and following through with those promises and you're showing up for yourself, you are seeing the results. And that doesn't mean that, you're never going to eat gluten again, ever. I mean, I don't eat generally gluten or dairy because it just doesn't feel good in my body. But then that's the example you're setting for the people around you. It's not that, oh, I'm on a diet, I can never eat gluten. No, it's just, I can eat it if I want. I just choose not to because it's not making me feel good. Or, cheese, once in a while I can have this one and it's okay. But when I eat too much, I just don't feel good. So I'm just going to pass today. Thank you very much. And then people are seeing that, oh, okay, no, she's really not on a diet. She's just making better health choices for herself. And that's a whole different mindset for your family, for your friends, for, coworkers, whatever, than those people who are on that diet and saying, no, can't eat that. No, can't eat that. That's not good for you. I can't eat that. When you're coming from a place of respect for your body and love for your body, and then love and respect for the people around you because you're modeling something that's healthful where they can actually learn from you, then they are going to learn from you. And the sabotage tends to subside, and what you do does matter and people are watching. So I will end there. Thank you so much for watching today on Fit Nutrition Podcast. I know we went a little bit longer than usual, but I hope you got some value out of this. And I hope that, if you're starting your journey, or maybe, you've been living this lifestyle for a long time, but you're back, you're doing a little bit of a restart, and you're in that place right now where you've decided to defer from a few of these things, and you just getting that fresh start again. It's spring cleaning, right? We all kind of do that every couple times a year. We all do that so that we can, just like our car, pull out the dirty filter and start fresh. So if you're in that place right now, I hope this helped you. I hope this gave you a little bit of more confidence and a little bit of ammo maybe to do what's good for yourself, show up for yourself, and keep showing up for yourself, regardless of what phase, what phase of this program or life that you're in, where in your journey you're at. It doesn't matter where in your journey you're at. It is a journey and it's continuous. There's a beginning, but there's never an end. You can start wherever, but we're not ending until we're done here on this planet, because your body is always growing, it's always evolving, it's always changing, and we need to keep doing what we know is best for us and what serves our health goals and the way we feel in order to live a healthy life and feel satisfied. Okay, so thanks for watching today on Fit Nutrition Podcast. Drop your comments below. I will definitely come and answer. If there are any topics that you would like me to cover, please drop that below. I'm happy to look at that and do that. And come back next week, same time, same station, for another episode of Fit Nutrition Podcast. Thanks for watching.